Right guys, Mark Crossfield here with Mizuno's JPX900 Forged Iron. Let's give these a few hits. We've got some real ball data coming at you. Show you what the JPX900 Forged Iron could do for your golf game. Let's get stuck in. So Mizuno JPX900 Forged Iron, interesting looking finish. Now I do like the look of these ones. They look very nice down by the ball, tiny bit of offset, medium to thin top line. Now I've got a wedge and a 4-iron here. 4-iron gives quite a lot of real estate down by the ball, where the wedge gets kind of smaller and more gaming. 8-iron to kind of gap wedge. They are saying they're reducing the size of the heads to try and get them in that kind of more playing looking feel, and what a good player would want to look at in those scoring irons. We get this undercut cavity here. They've got a power frame face, I think, or something as well. They're trying to move the weight off the face, so you're getting grain flow forged, traces of boron that make it, is it 30% stronger, I think I might have read, which is allowing them to kind of move forged designs on in quite different ways. So we're getting a nice big cavity, really extending out to the heel and the toe, and we also get variable face thickness on this. Bearing in mind it's forged, I think, from one piece. That's pretty clever. Let's give them a few hits to see what happens with these. So you're going to get kind of game improvement ideas across the face in theory with this. So the undercut cavity is going to improve ball speeds across the face, pulling that weight off the face, the variable face thickness. But you are getting that forged feel, sound, and in theory looks as well. Let's give it a hit. Got a 6-iron to start me off. Yeah, I mean, that's quite an interesting flight on that. We'll look at the numbers, but that's a decent flight for a 6-iron with these balls, and my data's collected with my chrome sauce, the ball I actually game with. But very much still sounds like a forged Mizuno iron. Interesting mix, actually. Yeah, does feel nice. Now, I'm an MP player, so I use the MP5s. They do look better than this. I do quite like the finish on this. It's almost like a white satiny finish it looks like on these. So it's not kind of true on chrome. I'm going to go to the wedge. But anyone who wants that kind of MP feel, to be honest with you, they don't feel much different to mine, but is looking for a game improvement, bit of help, going to use more of the face. JPX900 Forged, absolutely. Now the wedge is looking much more like my wedge looks, so they're absolutely smaller, more compact, lovely little head shape. Again, feels nice off the face. It's a very similar sound and then in turn feel to what I get from my MPs. And we're going to go up to 4-iron as well. We're going to show you the data. I've hit 4-iron and 6-iron for data as well. I'm not a 4-iron, it's a 6-iron. That would be nice if that was the 4-iron. Here we go, let's give the 4-iron a hit. I'm not a 4-iron player. You see a tiny bit of the heel out the back, like literally the tiniest bit. Medium top line's quite long in its blade length. That little bit out of the heel's just catching the sun for me. It's not the prettiest for me, that. But I don't think I've ever looked at a 4-iron and thought it looked pretty. I mean, I don't mind. I feel like I could hit this 4-iron if you gave me enough goes, but I'm always going to go more to my hybrid. But as 4-irons go in a more player looking club, not too bad. I struck that one really well, and it's a lovely looking flight. Like the look of those, definitely like the feel. You are getting Mizuno feel. Let's look at the numbers. Yeah, it's an interesting iron. JPX gone all forged and lovely. So numbers time, let's see how they perform. 178 6-iron, so it's on my stronger side. Longest hit 181. Dropping back down to 173. Now I was quite impressed. The first shot I hit with this club went 178, and I couldn't believe it because I struck it pretty average or below average. So I did feel a little bit with these that they were helping me on my miss hits to a certain extent. Peaking height at 29 yards, and not the highest 6-iron for me. I'm 30 to 32, sometimes 34 with a 6-iron. 6-iron spinning at 4 or 5, so again, because they're pulling weight off that face, that CG's moving and it is knocking a little bit of spin off, which is always going to give that distance. Launching at 15.8 degrees, nearly 16. Not bad numbers there, quite impressive. That one for me is kind of competing with those brands who create those good looking irons, but still perform like a distance iron. It's kind of right in the middle of both. It definitely performs, it feels, sounds like a forged iron, which I like. I'm used to that, that's what I like gaming. But I'm getting distance numbers, stroke spin, lower numbers than I get from those distance irons. So if I wanted to bridge that gap, this one's definitely doing it. 4-iron numbers, 193. Miss it, dropping down to 191, not bad at all. Spinning at 4,000 revs. It's interesting that my 4-iron to my 6-iron aren't that different in spin. It's an interesting point there, and that's where for me I like that MP blade personally, because I'm getting more truer spin numbers throughout the set. The 4-iron's trying to help you that bit more. It's dragging spins and helping with launches, and it's kind of making my 6-iron and 4-iron almost kind of come together a little bit, which is the big thing when you start going into distance irons. It's all great, everyone's always trying to top out these numbers. Are you getting the right steps between is the big point. It'd be interesting, that would be a challenge with that one, but that's why you've got to go and get fit, go and test them, go and you try and hit them and see if they are giving you the gaps you want. Decent numbers, good looking iron. I do like the way the 8-iron to the gap wedge gets a little bit more gamey. A very interesting crossover one, that one. Follow me on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, Periscope, all the normal social places. Also, come and visit my new website, markcrossfieldgolf.com. See you over there.